is Mars from GBC Live. We have Heidi Dugan, one of outstanding influencers in China. She's a TV host and she's a super KOL here in China. But we want to hear her story from her herself. Heidi, thank you so much for being here.
No, it's so nice. It's a privilege.
Yeah, we want to know about your story and how you started to be a TV host, to be a KOL, to be a celebrity, and you're super happy having you here.
You're giving me half an hour to do this in. Okay. Well, my background is acting, so that's what I studied. When I was in Australia, I was doing film, TV, and stage acting. Then I came to Shanghai over 22 years ago, then started working with the Shanghai Weishe, Shanghai satellite TV station, grooming their news reporters. We then got the opportunity to start a new show, and that was You Are the Chef, which I was the host for. And it's sort of from channel to channel, it's sort of grown and grown, and it's a daily show that's been aired now for 18 years. And you know, with the environment, TV has now become online, and so the development of, you know, being able to own and personalize your information that you're putting out there has opened up, you know, my career definitely to this new thing that we call KOLs.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, like KOL, people, they have different definition. People, they have different perspective, attitude about KOL and so on. But we would love to hear from you. What is the definition of KOL? Who's the KOL?
Well, it's a key opinion leader. And I think that, you know, there is a lot of misconception between sort of what is a key opinion leader. You know, a key opinion leader could be a doctor. It could be a mother who is spreading the word about how she parents her children.
That's correct.
It could be a teacher of anything, you know, guitar, English. So they're people that have, it could be actually anyone. They're people that have an opinion. But they not only have an opinion, they lead and direct other people's opinion. And that's one of the things that I think we can associate a KOL, a key opinion leader, with a blogger. But actually there's a very big difference, and that is blogger puts out information. They could be successful, they might have a lot of followers. A key opinion leader is someone that is changing. They've got a very big opinion and they're changing other people's opinions.
Very good. So there's a term KOL, there's a term of celebrities, and you're both of them. So what is the difference between these two?
So a celebrity is someone that is celebrated for what they do. Really, it's as easy as that. I think that we associate celebrities with TV personalities, whether that be a TV star or a TV host, which is what I am. But you also have celebrities being people that are incredibly good, like a sports person, Alibaba, Jack Ma. These people have become celebrities, so they've become people that are very good at being in the public, and a lot of people recognize them. The difference between that and a KOL is a KOL can be anyone. Well, and it can't be everyone because you are leading opinion, but you can have everyone can have an opinion. So they're the two biggest differences. Where I think that you can see it a bit more clearly is when a brand would use either or. So a celebrity would be used when a brand has their own marketing. They already have their position, and they would use the face of the celebrity to come on and be part of their brand. And what that does is that gives the brand a sense of, you know, it makes the brand look good. But it also, through that, for instance, myself, I've been talking about food and health for so many years in so many households in China. So there's a trust that I've built up over the 18 years. So what happens is that if a brand brings me on, they bring me on for their consumer to go, well, if Heidi's using it, then there's a trust in the product. That's a celebrity. The celebrity may or may not have their own followers.
Yeah, that could be.
A KOL is someone that has built a following by having an opinion about something.
Very good. How KOLs they can sustain to be KOLs for a long time? Like, this is not an easy job.
Yeah.
I mean, because today we want to discuss about the KOLs, steps, how to be a KOL and so on.
Yeah.
So I'm coming with the different questions that give a whole picture to our audience at the end, that they understand how they can even start to be a KOL. So how a KOL can sustain to be a KOL for a long run, for a long time?
Yeah. So again, KOL, I think everyone sort of, because it rolls off your tongue, everyone goes KOL, KOL, KOL. I have to bring it back to, it's a key opinion leader.
Exactly.
So anyone can have a blog.
Yeah.
Anyone can have an opinion, but it does not mean they are a KOL.
Exactly.
They are a KO. They have key opinions, but they don't lead other people. So that's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
So for someone to be able to use that as a career, and it really is a career, and it's a job choice that people make, because it is not easy. It's as difficult as any other job, but not only that, generally you are building that business on your own, based on your own opinions. And that, unless you're certain about what you're doing, that can be a very sort of scary sort of business to build your business on. So the key thing obviously would be you have to monetize it.
Yeah.
You can keep blogging. Everyone can keep blogging, but unless you're monetizing it and you're leading people, then it's not going to be a career move. You have to treat being a KOL just like you would a business.
Okay, monetization is one of the key.
Yeah.
And then another thing is coming to my mind, and probably to our viewers' mind, is how much passion is important in this journey?
It's a good question. Passion is important in life.
Yeah.
Without passion you can't. And as a KOL, this is a daily thing that you're getting out there. You have to be passionate about whatever it is you're writing about.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, with passion comes a certain amount of intensity and a want to know more, a thirst to know more. And that's why you get some really interesting KOLs that they don't just talk about the broad topic. They go into very, very specific things. And that's why you can have some really funny videos. Some people, because they're talking Shanghainese, or some person is sort of changing music videos. They're so specific about what they do, because that is what drives them. If you don't have that drive, it's never going to be a business. It's going to be a hobby.
So because there are some people that are introverted, some people that are extroverted, some people they're crazy to create contents and so on. And that's why I asked that how much passion is important, because if there's no passion, well, let's say, being a KOL, I get famous, I get fame, and so on, and let's do it. And they go for it, and they start it, and they see, okay, this is not the thing, that they can't do it. It's not about just being a beautiful or handsome person. It's about the collection of things is a package that you have to come up all together. So how is going to be the KOL things in... how is it today and how is going to be in 5 years? Seems that a lot of people, they would like to get to be a KOL and so on. How would it be, the competition?
Again, I think I still come back to a KO and a KOL.
Exactly.
And I think that it is this platform, this online platform of social media, is a great way to connect with people and to have an opinion. And I always recommend that it be a caring and giving environment that you create. It's the conversion of not only, as we say, is the money, but also the opinions, changing other people's opinions. No matter what, in all businesses, there will be some that succeed and some that don't succeed. KOLs, like any other industry, there will be some that will do an amazing job and they will succeed. Just like, obviously, I work with chefs. A really good chef does not make an executive chef. Because there's so much more involved in that whole understanding. There's a whole business aspect to it. So a KOL is their own business and they can build it based on that. They need to be passionate about what they do, but they also have to have a business mind, how to monetize, but also how to grow the business. It's a company, exactly like anything else.
Very good. So how do you see influencers, or the KOL term that we keep repeating that, how do you see it in China and out of China? How is it? Is it any different or not?
I think it's very different. You know, when I talk to companies that are abroad, I think they're all really quite amazed by the influence of the people in China. And I suppose that's why we call it People's Republic of China. The people do actually have a voice, and they have a very strong voice. And like typical of Chinese people, they learn something and they adapt it and they make it their own. And that is why they've been so big in this area. And it's about that feeling of control. There are a lot of Chinese people, through being a KOL, have taken back a lot of control of their life and their careers, and they're creating it in a way that they want to do it. Now, you know, things also happen very quickly in China, so it has really sort of developed, and it's such a technology-based, you know, we pay through our phone for everything. Yeah. Whereas, you know, definitely in Australia, I know we've got a credit card, but, you know, there's still a lot of cash and things like that. You could have a great platform, but you probably only got a certain amount of people that are following that you can convert. So China has the mass of people, plus they're also so, you know, tech savvy that it's just the perfect for this environment and for any brand wanting to come into China. Yeah, like China economically has been booming for years. Yeah. And then, well, it's a big market. And there are a lot of brands, a lot of companies, large corporations, they want to have KOLs, and they want to have all these outstanding people. But in terms of international corporations, big corporations, if they want to influence like Chinese people, consumers here, they need to go through Chinese KOLs. However, we have some other influencers out there. But do you think influencers out there, out of China, can be influencers in China? Yeah. If yes, why? If no, why? Absolutely. The Chinese people are, you know, definitely don't live in a bubble. Yeah. So they're influenced by what happens outside the country. There are also a lot of Chinese people abroad that, you know, this is where we got the whole idea of the Daigo, which is the Chinese people generally abroad in another country were looking at amazing products from that country, Australia or the UK, and that they recommend them to people that are in China. So, you know, on that side of things, I think that they're very influenced. And then you've also got the influence of all of the big brands like, you know, Nike, Adidas, you know, Miranda Kerr from Australia. Those brands and those models, the sports people, also influence Chinese people, along with the Chinese celebrities. So I think if for a brand that's coming in, you really have to look at using all of it. Depending on your strategy, you have to create a strategy which works for the company, but that really incorporates all of it. Yeah, but I've seen a lot of, let's say, influencers, like superstars, or, those sport guys, superstars, and so on. For them, it's kind of easy to China to be influencer. Sure. But what about those KOLs, or that they want, like, they're not celebrities? Because what we are talking about, international influencers, they're celebrities. Yeah. Means they are already out there. Yeah. They don't need to push that much to be a KO or KOL, kind of. And how is it for those who wants to be KOL here? I mean, for those international people, for you. International people, okay. Yeah, so you as an international person, you got in here, you've done a great job. Yeah. I mean, you've been here more than 20 years, 22 years, and so on. I mean, and imagine that if somebody wants to sell, let's say I'm an influencer out of China, and I say, okay, let's get in China. It's a big market, and I want to be a KOL influencers, but I'm not supposed to stay here for 22 years. Or even if I'm thinking that I'm going to be here for 5 years, it's a lot, you know.
Is there any solution, or they have to, what they have to do if they want to have a kind of influence in China?
It really depends on who they are. If they're already influencing, if they're bloggers and they're influencing their own people and they have following, then I think they can pick up on Chinese market.
You mean the same pattern?
Yeah, like there are a lot of very successful bloggers, from different countries, and they are, whether it's fashion, the Chinese KOL will pick up on them. Will those bloggers make money here? No. Unless they're coming in as a celebrity, I think the only way that it would happen is, firstly, they have to be in the country. They have to have some connection with the Chinese people. They have to have some understanding of Chinese culture, or they need to partner with other Chinese KOL or Chinese partners where their position, their opinion is relevant to this market. Otherwise, honestly,
super hard.
I don't know why you would want to. I don't know. It's so, unless you live here, or you have some connection to China. Why? Just because it's a big market doesn't mean that everyone should take a bite of it.
I think it's, in my opinion, like you can agree or disagree. I mean, if you want to be influencer in China or KOL, in my opinion, I tell to everybody who's watching this, you need to be celebrity here first, then you can be KOL.
As a foreigner, you mean?
Yeah, as a foreigner. Yeah. Because you're competing with others that they're already doing the same thing that you wanted to talk about. Yeah. If you want to talk about F&B, if you want to talk about any sport, if you want to talk about any tech and so on. I mean, it's super hard. Like, being here like more than 8 years, getting to 9 years. It was super hard for me to be a KOL in tech and innovation. Yeah. And I had to spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and so on. And so,
but why shouldn't it? It should. It's a career. It's a job. The Chinese spend just as much time and money and effort becoming KOLs as themselves. So I think it's easy for us to separate ourselves and say it's more difficult for us. On the other hand, it's also easier to be noticed. You don't look like a Chinese person, so people, when they see you talking about something, they might just open up their eyes and go, you'll catch their attention. Yeah. So, and I agree, definitely being a celebrity, being someone that's on TV, mass media, helps incredibly. Yeah. But there are some very successful Western KOLs that are in China that were never celebrities and are absolutely just, the Chinese market just loves them. Yeah. Because they do one thing and it connects with the Chinese market.
That's really important. So let's go to another angle of KOLs. I want to know that, do we have any age for being a KOL? If age is important, and how would it be for young children's, which is very, very, very important for me, as a very important concern for me. Yeah. So how is it?
So let's go above first. Let's go older. Social media is definitely recent. Yeah. So we're talking, I think, above 50. They're using their phones, they're in groups, but generally they're not using the phone as much, and they do follow little accounts and that, but generally they're not the ones that are obsessed with it. So if they're your market, and most people are good at having an opinion because they're of that age and they attract people of the same age. Yeah. So I would say if you're 60 and you want to start becoming a KOL, I say go for it. There's probably not a lot around, so you may actually get a lot of people. But that group of people don't look at their phones that much. So when you go down a little bit, I always believe a KOL is really you being yourself, and it's about exposing yourself. So you're generally going to attract people that have a similar opinion. So they're probably going to be around your age group. So for that, you just got to be careful who your market is.
Yeah,
when we're talking about younger kids, it's a very personal thing. I certainly for my children, I'm not so keen on them to have their own accounts, and I know people do and they think it's totally fine and they monitor it really well. That's just not going to fit into my life. I'm not going to be sitting around.
Why? Because it's going to be super distracting for your kids, or moving them from the focus that they have to have?
I think technology is already so much a part of our lives, and you know, they go to Chinese school, so they, you know, so much of their time is about studying and about sort of being in this bubble. So when they're not doing that, I want them to sort of open up and out. And I find that a lot of these sort of technical devices don't open them. They actually sort of confine them and bring them into a much more focused region. So, but it's really individual, and it depends on the parents, the kid's situation, and who the kid is too. You know, some children have been so incredibly successful and have loved it, and that's, you know, that is going to be their path, and that's something that they want to develop, and they're enthusiastic about it, and the parents support it. If you have a loving environment that's enthusiastic, that is clear, and the children understand what's happening, then, you know, go for it. I don't do it, and I won't do it for my children, and I definitely discourage it because of who they are and who our family is and the environment that they're brought up in.
Very good, very good. So what about like being a man or woman? Is there any difference to be a, you know, to be a KOLs? Like I'm talking about market. You know what? Like let's be kind of.
I think that
fair enough. Like I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you know, in marketing aspect, in advertising aspect, we have more women's models,
right?
Women's that they're more in touch in branding and so on.
I think it's really interesting because I think in the rest of the world we definitely, well, for most of the world, I think women are the ones that buy.
Yeah.
They do purchase a lot more. And if you look at Vogue or any of the media outside of China, the woman sells to the woman.
Yeah.
If I was in Australia and a man was selling to me about women's fashion or makeup, I'd be going, this is the weirdest thing ever. However, China is completely different.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Vogue, a women's Vogue, anywhere else in the world that just has men on it. They constantly have male celebrities on the cover. One of the biggest KOLs here is one that just basically tests makeup products and lipsticks, and he's a guy, to women, and he's super famous, and all he does is just try the different, you know, colours and things like that. Yeah, so I'm not going to say it anyway, but he's massive, you know, you know, so that's the thing is that.
Interesting.
China is, I think, much more of a level playing field because men can sell to women here, and men can do it just as easy. You could start selling skincare or women's makeup as well as I could to a Chinese person. Yeah, so it just has to be that you have to find the angle that they want to hear you talk about that can sell it.
Yeah, very good. So you, I think you as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a celebrity, and as a KOL.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your challenges that you've had in the journey till here that you have?
Well, the challenges always for me is that I want to do everything. Yeah, you know.
Focus, you mean this?
So focus
Same
is
problem.
always. So you know, I get so passionate when I talk to people, and you know, for me,
you have a lot of energy. I know.
It's so it excites me when I pick up on someone else's excitement too. So there are so many things that I've wanted to do in my life, and it's always, you know, I'd say sort of the second third of my life has been really about saying no. That's the biggest thing that I've learned, is saying no. It's about, and it's not just about focusing, it's about saying no to the things that are not in line with what I want to do,
and
with
it's
the
not
big
your
picture,
priority as well.
that are not my priority, because I enjoy helping. And so for me, that's a massive motivation, is to help someone else. So I sort of realizing that I need to actually help myself first, and then I can help more people, like you with this TV, you know, talking about different experiences. You can help more people, but unless you're doing it properly yourself, your opinion doesn't mean much.
Yeah. So you've been here like more than 22 years, and then what was your dream when you got in here and also you started your career and so on? We would love to know about your dream. I'm a guy that I would love to know about people's story, their dream.
Yeah.
However, I have my own dream. Yeah, I would love to talk about.
So I was always brought up, I'm very fortunate that I was brought up in a family that was continually educating themselves and learning new things, and my parents were always studying something. So it meant that I believed that I could do anything. So I'm lucky and fortunate that that was sort of the upbringing that I had. Originally, before I came here, my dream as an actor was to go to the US and to go to the UK and become a famous actress.
You wanted to be in Hollywood.
I wanted to be, you know what, I didn't care where I was. I was passionate about acting, and I wanted to be, you know, in front of the camera.
1,000 cameras.
Exactly, and so that was my passion. And then it was through you know, coming here and being given opportunities, but also being open to opportunities and saying, I'm going to give it a go, and doing TV hosting, that I kind of realized that this was actually, I like being me, actually. And I did a lot of TV and film here in China.
Very nice.
But ultimately, I think that, you know, I liked being myself. And I liked sharing my experiences with other people, and that's been my motivation. So this has been my motivation coming through, and what is now my dream definitely is to share with more people about health, about wellness, and understanding that different people have different ways of achieving that. So for me, that, and I am really, I've lived here for 22 years. As a foreigner, I feel that it's so important for me to work with the community, to work with the government, different bodies, so that I'm also giving back to the community that has made me a celebrity and a KOL. That it's because of the support that I've had from the Chinese that I am who I am today. So it's really important for me to be able to share that, and then also help bridge that gap between other brands coming in to understand who this market is, and give them a better picture and a more realistic picture of who the Chinese market is.
Very good. Very good. Well, my dream was the same as your dream that you had. Like, I wanted to be an actor, but I was pushed by my Persian family. They love science. I was pushed to go and study mathematics. But at the end, I told them, I got back to where I wanted to be. Yeah, mathematics, IT, then international. I got lost, actually. Then I got back to my root now, which is beautiful. I'm just saying this kind of experience because I'm 100% sure it's going to be useful for others.
And look, I agree. And I think everyone, we have a life cycle.
Exactly.
And you know, this is something my brother taught me. You know, the Star Wars story, you have your person, and then they go through a darkness where things are difficult, things are hard, and they think, am I ever going to get out of this darkness? And then you'll have someone there that mentors them, and you'll start to see the light, and you'll start to build yourself, and you'll start to become better. And then you'll start teaching someone else what you've learned, you know, you share it with someone. But inevitably, you will come back with your growth, you'll come back to this point of then going through a darkness and difficulty and hardship, and someone else is going to come by, take your hand, and you're going to go through and find the light again. Life is...
That's great. So just one of my last questions is just how do you see, like, the role of KOLs in an area which is kind of marketing and so on, and the role of marketing agencies and the medias? Like, how would it be? Because it looks like this, that the KOLs are getting the job from the hand of marketing agencies. Things are getting more direct to individuals, because KOLs are individuals. Then large corporations they kind of prefer, or even medium-sized, large corporation, they try to communicate kind of directly without any like a middle layer.
For me, I think that we have to look at them as two completely different entities. A marketing company helps you look at your brand, helps you establish who your market is. And how to deliver your product to that market. That's not what a KOL does. A KOL is a funnel. It's a platform to get that message out there. And so you have your marketing, and then that person creates a strategy for you, can then go and look at who the right KOL is to send the message. So in the old days, we had radio, we had magazine, we had TV. So nowadays, we look at KOL as one of those legs to sending the message out there. KOLs can also do another thing, is they can also be part of your sales leg, because they can actually convert. Not all of them, but some of them will actually do the conversion, and then they will sell for you. So they become then a sales platform. Completely different things. Both of them you need, and both of them, if you understand how to use them, like anything, the better you understand your tool, the better you know how to use it.
Awesome, Heidi Dugan.